Well, good morning. On this beautiful day that the Lord hath made, it is a joy and an honor to welcome you all here to St. Alfred's Episcopal Church. My name is Peter Lane. I'm the rector here at St. Alfred's. And I'm just delighted that this day is finally here, that we can gather together on this beautiful day to grow in our understanding of the ways that we are called into deeper and fuller relationship with God on a regular basis, and for the gift of centering prayer in the ways that enables the growth in our life, in our spiritual journeys, in our faith journeys. A few logistical matters to cover. First of all, if you have trouble hearing Father Bill or myself or Tom or Mike as they speak at the microphone, just raise your hand. We have dear Marty Broward in the control booth back there, and he can elevate the volume of the mics as we go along, so just let him know that you're having trouble hearing. We hope that everybody will be able to hear the good words that Father Bill has for us this morning. In terms of bathroom breaks, we do have several breaks built into the schedule this morning, but if you need to use the restrooms, we have a ladies' room out the doors and to your right, and a men's room out the doors and to your left, as well over in Reister Hall, where we had coffee and pastries this morning. There are restrooms at the back of that building as well. So if you need those during the course of the day, now you know where to find them. We will be gathering for lunch over in Reister Hall. Lunch is being provided for us today, and we give thanks for our hospitality team here at Contemplative Outreach in St. Alfred's for providing that. And I think that's the sum total of our logistical concerns this morning. I will add that we have a celebration of the Holy Eucharist this evening at 5 o'clock. If after a full day of centering prayer and learning, you would like to stay and take in that service, we would be honored to welcome you to join us in that worship. I would also invite you, many of you already have, to take advantage of our campus as you walk about. We have two beautiful pieces by the artist Christopher Still. The entryway depiction of the Christ, and that art is rich and deep. You can gather it from this round window as well as out in the narthex in the entryway. And then our outdoor chapel, which is behind this wall behind me, depictions from the gospel stories that Christopher Still has put into a fresco out there. So if you're looking for a quiet place during the course of the day, during one of our breaks or at lunchtime, and want to go sit out in the outdoor chapel, it would be a beautiful place to take in the beauty of this day and the gift of Christopher Still's art. We've had a centering prayer group here at St. Alfred's for about 9 months now, and it has been a wonderful addition to our life as a community of faith. Many of our members are involved in that group on a Thursday morning, but I'm mindful of the fact that many of us are here today with no experience in centering prayer are coming to learn and discover the richness of this practice. Some of us are relatively new to it and learning again, its ways and its richness. And some of you have been practicing for almost as long as Father Bill. But I'm also mindful that whatever your experience with centering prayer, that as Paul reminds us in the 8th chapter of Romans, that God knows where we are in our faith journey. God knows what our needs are, and the Spirit intercedes for us. And so that whatever your understanding of centering prayer is this morning, God understands that, God knows that, and God will use the wisdom and the experience that Father Bill brings to us this morning, and will translate it in a way that makes sense to you. This is really a gift of freedom for Father Bill. He does not have to be all things to all people this morning and this afternoon. He can simply offer his wisdom and trust that the Holy Spirit will use that wisdom, those words, to minister to you, to teach you, to lift you up. So we give thanks for God's presence here this morning. We give thanks for your presence here this morning. And most of all, we give thanks for Father Bill's presence here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Peter. My name is Mike Davis. I'm the facilitator here for today's workshop, and we're so excited. The Contemplative Outreach of Tampa Bay has been sponsoring these workshops with Father Bill for over 20 years now, and we're so happy he decided to come back and see us again. I guess things went okay last time, so he's back to see us again. So happy to see Father Bill here today and all your happy faces. And we just want to take a moment to not only welcome you to this chapter event, but also up-and-coming events that are going to be happening. We've got workshops going on around our chapter, and our chapter extends from Pasco County all the way down to Sarasota County, down to Venice, and we've got always something updated in the emails on our website. Check out our website at Sunday Prayer, tampabay.com. Also, on January 4th at St. Catherine's of Siena in Clearwater, Mary Dwyer will be doing a welcoming prayer workshop on January 4th. So mark that down on your calendars as well. Before we go into our time of centering prayer, Tom Smith is going to come and give the 4 centering prayer guidelines. And some of you might be relatively new to the practice. Maybe some of you here haven't even done the practice. So it's important that you know or just be informed as to how the method is done. It's a method. Centering prayer is not exactly prayer proper. The centering prayer method is the method that takes us to the contemplative state where union with God is facilitated as a free gift by the Spirit. So the centering prayer, when we say centering prayer, yes, we're talking about, in a roundabout way, contemplative prayer. But centering prayer specifically is the method. The centering prayer method is what helps us to facilitate or make ourselves available to the unique presence of contemplation that many of you have already experienced or heard about or read about. And the centering prayer practice was facilitated or constructed by Father Thomas Keating, Father William Menninger, and Father Pennington. Yes, the trio. And so they worked hard in lots of prayer, years of practice. And Father Bill will tell you about his initial experience with Thomas Keating and what happened in Lama, New Mexico in 1983. So without further ado, Tom Smith will come up and start off on the 4 guidelines for centering prayer method.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you all hear me all right? Okay, great. I'm just sort of rediscovering my voice after a bout of little bronchitis, so if you can't hear me, just yell at me, okay? I'm honored to be able to take this 10 minutes to discuss the guidelines of centering prayer. And I was thinking about, well, how do I do an introductory workshop in 10 minutes? And I guess I like challenges, so I accepted this role. The first thing that I wanted to do is just to encourage the Spirit and encourage each of you in your hearts and in your minds to begin to open and be silent and to encourage the silence of God. As Thomas Keating says, silence is God's first language. We call this a retreat today. a big part of the reason that we call it a retreat is we want to encourage silence in our hearts and our minds, and carry that interior silence with us throughout the day. So right now, as I'm going through the guidelines of centering prayer, if you can take some breaths and find that point of relaxation and begin to rest in the presence of the Holy Spirit. I was looking around to see if I could find anything that encapsulates centering prayer. And I found a paragraph from David Frenette's book that I thought would be helpful. So let me begin my introduction with that. This is from The Path of Centering Prayer by David Frenette. And he has several chapters that deal with the attitudes of contemplative prayer. The paragraph, or the chapter titled Letting Go and Letting Be, I think is extremely important and it's extremely powerful. And his explanation goes like this: letting go is at the heart of centering prayer. As you let go, you open into God, unfold toward others, expand into life. Letting go frees you from the tight grip of self, from the trap of obsessive mind, from the contraction of self-will. Practicing the active attitude of letting go establishes you on the contemplative path. As you practice deep trust and let everything be, just as it is in God, you participate more and more in the divine life itself. And over time, letting go and letting be are commingled in your contemplative practice. There is little distinction between what you are doing and the way God is being in you. And so here are the 4 simple guidelines of centering prayer. And they're presented as guidelines so that we're not bringing into our prayer a lot of effort in doing a certain thing right. We're not trying to accomplish anything. In fact, the letting go process is, I think, best symbolized like this with your hands. We come in so often in our lives, we come in with this possessive sort of holding on kind of attitude like this. If there's any effort at all in centering prayer, I suggest that this is the effort, opening our hands. Simply opening our hands from the clenched position to let go and to be open to the presence and action of the indwelling presence of God. So, that being said, number 1 is we choose a sacred word as the symbol of our intention to consent to God's presence and action within. The sacred word expresses our intention to consent to God's presence and action. Number 2 is all about comfortably and confidently and faithfully introducing the sacred word and being open to our relationship with God. And it goes like this. Sitting comfortably and with eyes closed, settle briefly and silently introduce the sacred word as the symbol of your consent to God's presence and action within. And I would note, sitting comfortably means relatively comfortably, so as not to encourage sleep during the time of prayer. Sleep is okay, but it's not the goal. Number 3, when engaged with your thoughts, return ever so gently to the sacred word. Thoughts is an umbrella term for every perception, including body sensations, sense perceptions, feelings, images, memories, plans, reflections, concepts, commentaries, and spiritual experiences. By returning ever so gently to the sacred word, a minimum of effort is indicated. This is the only activity we initiate during the time of centering prayer. And the 4th guideline, at the end of the prayer period, remain in silence with eyes closed for a couple of minutes. From Father Thomas Keating, beginning with a passage from Ephesians chapter 3, be filled with all the fullness of God. When we talk about centering prayer, we're talking about love. This distinguishes centering prayer from Eastern methods of meditation. Eastern methods are primarily concerned with awareness. Centering prayer is concerned with divine love. The Eastern traditions put greater emphasis on what the self can do, and hence contain the innate hazard of identifying the true self with God. The Christian tradition, on the other hand, recognizes God present but distinct from the true self. In other words, our uniqueness remains and becomes the vehicle for the divine expression, which was why we were created, to share by grace in the oneness of the Father and the Son. Again from Ephesians chapter 3, that you, rooted and grounded in love, may know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, so that you may be filled with all the fullness of God.